so ashamed, like all the fabric I buy is the same. Hi everyone, I'm Noémie. I'm a student in costume making in Brussels, and today I wanted to touch on everything I want to achieve in 2025, which is a video I was super excited to make. I have a list. I have several lists because I want to talk about quite a few things. Sadly, if I want time to film this, it's kind of now or never. So I'm very sorry, because normally I do like having a bit of natural light in my video. I know it's nicer to watch with natural light and everything, and it's also nicer when my voice doesn't sound quite like this. So this is the weekend now. I have just filmed the tutorial for the half moon bag that came out last week. I hope you liked that video, but so if I don't film now, from Monday on it's total madness for a whole 2 weeks because I have to deliver quite a few costumes. So here we are. I hope you can forgive my voice, my red nose and the bad lighting, and that we can still have a nice time together. Basically, what I want to share with you today, let me take my list. So one, I want to share what my Make 9 is for this year, very exciting. Two, I want to share with you what work experience I'm going to do in 2025. So with school I have to do work experience, and it's all, you know, sorted since something crazy like October, November. It's all sorted and I'm super excited to share this with you. So I'm going to finally do that. And then I want to share my big sewing related goals for 2025. So not like making this project, like not the Make 9s, like sewing related goals. Basically, the theme for my Make 9 is that I really want to force myself to make everything I have not made last year. The Make 9 worked really well for me last year. Everything that was on my list I have made, and that really allowed me to kind of force myself to make those projects that have been lingering on my to-sew pile for a while. So if you've been around the channel for a while, some of the projects you won't be surprised by, but well, still want to mention them. So the number one is I want to make a functional bra. You might know that I have lace for a bra, and I made 2 bras. They went so great, but basically I am going to try a new pattern. So I still have one kit that's untouched, and that's still hopefully my holy grail bra. I have leftover fabrics from the 2 first kits I have made, and I want to try using those fabrics to make a Frankenstein bra, a wearable toile, if you would say that for a bra. Hoping to do that, and then hoping to make a nice bra with the final fabric. So let's see how that goes, but I kind of want to tick bra making off my list. Second is the Brooks jeans. Those have also been on my list basically all year in 2024, and I do not intend to put hardware on them. I am going to give myself a pass on that, but otherwise I do want to make my first pair of jeans. I know some of you guys are also going to make their first pair of jeans this year, so hopefully that's something we can do together. First pair of jeans in 2025. I mean, at this point I've made so many pair of pants, I'm just like literally, okay, no, there's different like shapes and things to jeans, but you know, after you've made a few pair of pants, I'm like, it's just making a pair of pants in jeans, and then the jeans, not exactly, but you see what I mean. I'm like, at this point, what am I scared of? I mean, it's just that I had other priority, but you see what I mean. I want to make a jacket, the West End jacket. I've also talked a lot about this. For the Brooks jean and the West End jacket, I don't have concrete plans on fabric and everything, and I do picture that happening potentially during the summer or to prep for autumn 2025. So that's not going to be in my first project, because in my first project I have a pile of fabrics here and a few new purchases, including this corduroy. So you haven't seen my new corduroy pants. Well, I have corduroy pants, guys. I'm literally missing the elastic in the waistband. If I have time, that's happening tonight, and the video is coming, I believe, next week for you guys. I have corduroy pants, and these are going to be my second pair of corduroy pants, and I want to make the palisades in this. I had mentioned earlier this year that maybe a burgundy palisade would be lovely, and then I thought, well, this is not burgundy, but this is a reddish brown. Basically, it's cold in Belgium, and I was like, this is going to keep me so comfortable and toasty. So my plan for the palissade is twofold. I'm going to cut the blue linen skirt I have made last year and that I don't like. I had talked about that. I'm gonna chop that up and hopefully have enough fabric to make the shorts out of that. Fingers crossed I have enough fabric, but I would like to be able to kind of muslin them a first time before cutting into the corduroy. So going to hopefully make myself a pair of palissade shorts in the blue linen, and then once the fit, I mean, you know, if I make the shorts, I just want the fit at the bottom, obviously. The rest doesn't matter. I checked the length of the leg and that seems totally fine for me. So hopefully once I make the shorts, then I can cut into the corduroy, and I hope to do that quite quickly because I do want them for the winter time. You know, if I finish them in the spring, then I have to wait next winter, and what's the point? So hoping to get those palissades going quite quickly. I've been talking for so long about them, and before you ask, yes, I'm going to film this, do not worry. That is on the filming list. Basically everything I'm mentioning here is going to be on the filming list, but I am sewing more off camera now because going down to one video a week, there's just not enough videos for filming everything I sew. But you don't need to see me make like pajamas or simple things, you know, that's kind of how I see it. Exciting projects I'll make with you guys, do not worry. You're not gonna miss anything of interest. Next up is the flower and bike shirt that I have been talking about literally since I have this channel, I believe. Like, I hope you're not sick of hearing me talk about this. I don't normally procrastinate projects, and I don't procrastinate them for no reason, I believe. So I was a bit like, what is happening? Why are we procrastinating? What's up with this project? The first question would be, are you no longer interested in having a shirt with bikes on it? Because, you know, that's possible, and if you're no longer into the project, maybe you can rehome the fabric if it's not cut yet. It's, you know, it's really great. And that's not what's happening. What's happening is that this fabric was really expensive. It's a cotton satin from Liz Taylor, and I believe I have 45 euros of fabric. Like, and it's not like meters and meters, like it's just what I need for the shirt. So 45 euros, and I'm like, ooh, I don't want to make a shirt that's not going to turn out well if I have spent so much money on the fabric. So I have kind of realized as well that I was going to make it into the Noah shirt, which is a free pattern from the fabric store. I know that people have commented that there are a few mistakes in the pattern, and I don't want to risk 45 euros of fabric into a pattern that has mistakes in. So I think I am going to buy a pattern for this. Very likely the Cameron shirt from Helen's Closet, because I really trust the drafting. But if you know of a shirt pattern, like really like the traditional shirt with all the nice shirt details, like that's what I want to make, like a really cool involved shirt. If you know of a nice pattern that I could like, feel free to let me know, because I'm not fully decided on it yet. But if I don't find anything better, I'll probably go with the Cameron, because I know that Helen's Closet has really good instructions. And so I was like, okay, so I have the pattern sorted and I don't need to worry about making potentially a faulty pattern, because I had made the Noah shirt in the past, but short sleeves versions, and I think not having to make the placket on the wrist makes it a lot easier. Obviously that's quite a tricky stage of shirt making. So that's the pattern sorted. I mean, I'm still looking for patterns, but the fact that I realized I don't want to make the Noah shirt because I'm worried or pre-annoyed that there's potential mistakes in it. Oh, I don't know. Then I'm like, maybe I can do this challenge anyway. I don't know. Still to be decided, but first thinking maybe the pattern is an issue. And then second, I thought actually what I need to do is a toile in a cheaper fabric before I cut into my 45 euro fabric. So I have purchased this fabric from Nerida Hansen. It's very cheap. It was 10 euros a meter because it was first cheap to start with and then in the sales, and it's also a cotton satin, so I thought that it would basically behave very similarly to the fabric I'm going to cut into next. And so that's the plan, making a first version in this, feeling confident, and then cutting into my bike fabric and not letting that linger the whole year round, because it drives me mad to see those projects that just like stay there and don't get sewn up. Even though in general, I really have to say, I have my sewing pile just behind you guys, and it's very good. It's really, really good. I'm super happy about how I have been working through my pile and not letting like projects pile up, basically. Well guys, do you want to be lovely and tell me that my voice is not like totally putting you off? I'm really sorry. I know it's not the nicest to hear such a deep witch voice, but what do you want? Next up, the two next lines are in this fabric, which I have already mentioned, and I want to make a pair of leggings and a sports bra in this. This is going to be glorious when I make it, but I still need to do it. That's 2 things I'm planning to self-draft as well. There's no reason I haven't done it in 2024, it's just that I really had other projects. But so putting it on the Make 9 ensures me that they're going to be made in 2025, so that's quite exciting. Kind of hope to have them done in the spring so that I can wear them in the spring, because I want to make 3/4 length leggings, so I don't need them right now in the winter. Oh, I have totally skipped something. Well, I'll make a double point actually. I've realized I skipped a line, but it's fine because I'm going to mention 2 things. I'm going to flash this fabric on screen and you're going to recognize what it is. If you've ever been on my channel in one of my planning videos, you know that I have 3 meters of this and I wanted to make the Springer jumpsuit with it. And again, I was a bit like, why am I not making this jumpsuit? And I can totally tell you why. When it was time to make the jumpsuit, I had put on a bit of weight and I had the typical, no, but I'm going to lose weight and then I'll make it once I'm a good enough size or anything, you know, the type of self-talk. And basically, I also realized that the Springer jumpsuit is quite intense. Like, you don't wear this and go grocery shopping. Like, it's quite something. Especially, I believe, this jumpsuit in this fabric, it's going to be quite something. So I think I realized, liking this fabric so much, I was a bit worried about making a jumpsuit that would be amazing but not really wearable, and that I would waste the fabric in some sense. And so what I have decided is, 1, no longer feel like I'm not the right size. That's how it is. I have put on weight this year and that's simply life. And I have a weight that fluctuates a lot. I've already talked about that. So there's no point waiting or wishing for a different size and thinking when I am back to that size I'll deserve the new jumpsuit. Like, no, make the jumpsuit so that it fits you because your body's fine now. And despite knowing this, I realize that sometimes the old habits of wanting to be a better size, a size that deserves some sort of clothing, comes back to haunt me. I'm sure we all have it. So that's one thing, just getting rid of you can't make the jumpsuit. And I really thought, because you guys suggested other things I could make with this fabric, and I wouldn't do it because I was like, what I really want to do is the jumpsuit that I had planned on doing originally. And it's not that what you suggested wasn't good, it's just like I realized I was attached to my original idea. So what I have done is actually bought more fabric. So this is not my original cut, this is more of the same. And I thought, hopefully having more, it was also, okay, disclaimer, this is a quite cheap fabric as well. So I was like, I'm just gonna get more, and having more hopefully is going to free up my mind of the, well, if you make a jumpsuit and it's not so wearable or whatever, it's fine because you have more and you're going to make something a bit more every day with this. My gosh, I'm really not as eloquent as I would like to be. I realize filming when sick is quite something. Sorry guys. I was thinking having the second piece of fabric would kind of de-stress me about using the first one. So I don't know if you find this a bit weird. I never did this with any fabric, but here I think it's really going to allow me to feel free to use a fabric I want to use, basically. So on the Make 9 list, there is the Springer jumpsuit, but there's also the, how is it called? Is it Hazel or is it Heather? I never know. The blazer from Friday Pattern Co. I have bought this and this for the lining. And I'm super excited, and I'm really excited to make myself a blazer and to be looking super amazing in the office. Very excited for this. I have to say I was tempted to get either a lining that would be this light blue or a bright pink lining, which I think would be creatively amazing but harder to wear. So I decided that this lining would be really nice. It's a cotton as well. They also had a similar color in the viscose, but I know that's going to make me sweat more when this is a cotton fabric, cotton lining. It is a satin weave, so it's quite tightly woven, so it should be fine for that purpose as well. And I'm really excited to make my first blazer this year with those two. And I just wanted to show you, so that's the fabric I have bought for the shirt. I mean, you have a style or you don't have a style. I'm so like so ashamed. Like all the fabric I buy is the same. What do you want? Is that all for my Make 9? That is all for my Make 9. Congrats me, we made it. Let's take the next list and see what I want to talk to you about. Oh yeah, and on the knitting front, I don't have anything new I want to make, but I would like, and that's maybe still a bit optimistic knowing how time's going, but if I could finish the 4 projects I have yarn for, so I have started 2 of them and I have yarn for 2 extra projects. If I can finish those 4 projects in 2025 for knitting, that'd be great. Okay, then my work experience. And that's super exciting, and I kind of want to tell you the story about how this came to be. However, I can't really tell you what I'm going to precisely do with this, and I will explain. Basically, for the work experience I have to do for school, I will be dressing Kinky Boots Brussels 2025. I am extremely excited. There are 7 drag queens in the show, and I mean, it's also nice to dress people, but dressing drag queens is next level, and I'm very, very excited. If I don't look excited, it's because I'm just too sick, but I swear I'm very excited. And it came to be in the most random way. So I was still fully in Legally Blonde at the time, and the auditions were starting for Kinky Boots. And I enrolled for the auditions, and then I only then looked at the musical and discovered it for the first time. And then I kind of realized there's not really any great female roles in which you dance. I mean, the drag queens are fun, but you know, they're played by men. So I was like, oh, I don't know if I want to be in Kinky Boots actually, because there's no female part that really interests me. Like I can sing, not at the moment, but like normally I can sing, but I'm more of a dancer, and there's not great dancing in it, except if you are a drag queen. And so I was like, actually, I don't want to be in Kinky Boots. So I contacted them and I was like, oh, I'm sorry, like I registered for the audition, I don't want to audition anymore. But by the way, I'm looking for work experience. Can I be your costume person? Because I need to do 500 hours. Like literally, that's not an exaggeration. I need to do 500 hours. And basically they said, yeah, you can be the costume lady. This is an amateur production, by the way. A first year student in costume making does not become the costume lady for an actual play, but this is amateur, so they have no budget to pay for someone like me, and because this is part of school, I don't require to be paid. I have 500 hours of work for free to do, so you know, it kind of like worked well for both of us. I needed the job and they needed the person. And basically why I can't really tell you what I'm gonna do exactly is that it still needs to be determined. At the moment I'm making a master Excel of Doom. I love Excels, so it's all good. But basically I'm really just collecting every single costume we'll need to make. But I'm realizing there are so many costumes in this show. The cast is 27 people. And if you think 27 people times 1 million costumes each in 500 hours, I will never be able to sew all of those. So I think it's going to be a question of buying costumes for people and maybe transforming them, or we'll need to see it. So that's why I don't want to hype too much what I'm going to be doing for Kinky Boots, because despite being the person responsible for the costume, it's not clear how much sewing I'm going to do for them. I'll keep you updated, obviously, but my degree is not only sewing, it's also costume management and everything. So that totally falls into the role, you know, just doing the Excel is part of what we do. I hope it's going to be exciting. I hope there's still a little bit of sewing involved, and I will show you if there's anything interesting happening with that. I have a few general sewing goals, and I will be cheeky and make them from least exciting to most exciting. 1, I want to buy less viscose this year. I know this is a very non-smart goal, like not measurable and everything. It's just that I've been a very heavy viscose user for all of my first years of sewing. I really love viscose. I made a ton of stuff in viscose. But then in textile technology class, we learned about how it's made, how the waste is basically just dumped in the water, and it made me feel terrible. Like viscose has such a dirty process, and I know that cotton's not perfect because it uses a lot of water, and linen is infuriating because we grow linen in Belgium, but we don't have the factories to transform it, so we need to send it overseas for it to come back in Belgium to be sold as fabric. So frustrating because we literally grow linen here. In any case, I know that cotton uses a ton of water and that dyeing cotton is also not great, but at least it's still a natural fiber that can be dyed, you know, that if it's dyed responsibly, it's not too bad. But viscose, just creating the viscose is just such a polluting process, and sadly learning about this kind of ruined me. And now every time I look at, do I get the cotton, do I get the viscose, for example, the lining I just showed you, I was like, well, cotton's more breathable, and yeah, now if I can get cotton, I do get cotton instead of viscose. It's just, yeah. It's sad because viscose and I had such a strong love story. Listelo has always pretty viscose, so maybe I'll still get viscose. I don't know if it's like the end forever, but definitely the discoveries I have made this year have hurt my relationship with viscose, and if this year I can move away from viscose. I don't know, do you also have that where you kind of saw it as a natural fiber because it is made from a natural source, but actually viscose is no longer a natural fiber when you wear it? So the difference between, for example, viscose and tencel, you have a natural product, which is wood pulp, you throw some chemicals at it, you are like very scientific way of explaining, you throw chemicals at it, then you get the chemical back and then you reuse it in other industries. And then your final product has been transformed by the chemicals, but is still mostly cellulosic. When viscose, you put your natural fiber, you throw chemicals at it, it absorbs it and takes it in it, and then you also have a lot of disgusting waste that you can't reuse in industry. So it's just like, here you are, some chemical waste. But your viscose has sponged all of the chemical, and so if you analyze really the fiber, it's no longer a cellulosic product because the chemicals have transformed it so much. So yeah, so realizing that has kind of opened my eyes and has definitely slowed my consumption of viscose drastically. I used to be massive viscose lover, and now I think that from this year I'm definitely moving on towards other fabrics. Mainly cotton because of the uses I have, but then maybe also a bit of linen. I already hated polyester, so if I also can't use viscose, I'm really running low on options now. Next, what did I want to talk about? Second sewing related goal, I would like to pass my first year at school and to finish this year and to not have any exams to redo, because actually we have booked our holidays during the resit period, so I literally can't resit any exam because I won't be there. So I just want to pass my first year. I really hope it's going to work out. I'm not going to lie, it's been very challenging, school, and especially managing school and work. It's not slotting together as well as I was expecting. Ultimately, I would like to finish the degree, but as a 2025 goal, let's just have finished successfully my first year. Next, in the sewing related, obviously I want to keep my YouTube channel ticking nicely. I really want the 1 video a week schedule to work out. Okay, I have 2 last sewing goals and I find them both extremely exciting. In 2025, I want to start teaching sewing. And it seems so crazy to be saying that, and in one sense I feel like maybe a bit ballsy. I have a fellow student from school who basically told me I was way too full of myself to consider teaching when I'm only a first year student, but I'm not a first year sewist. So I was a bit like, well, yeah, you are starting to sew now. Like, you never sewed before arriving at sewing school, but I have. So first I wanted to mention that. And then also I'm planning to sew extreme beginner classes. Basically, I have contact with a place that runs workshops and I think it's going to happen. I really hope it will. Yeah, I find it very exciting to think of making that happen. And the very last goal in the sewing category is linked to this. This is an Apple Pencil, which means that I have an iPad coming on the way. The Apple Pencil I had to buy new, but the iPad I bought refurbished, and so it's not arrived yet. The point of the iPad, well, one I had mentioned, and some of you know, I need it for school because I need it for the technical drawings we do and for all the instructions booklet we do. Every time we have a big project, let's imagine I make a dress, I need to provide an instruction booklet with said dress. So there's a lot of drawing that's going to be happening, and like technical drawing specifically, the tablet's going to be very useful for that. So I justified kind of like I needed it for school. It's also going to allow me to do something I've been wanting to do since, I would say, like 1 to 2 years. When I started watercolor, I started thinking a lot about printing my painting on fabric. And now that I have an iPad coming, I'm really like, someone's going to have to stop me from creating motifs and putting them on fabric. I'm just so excited. The really big dream sewing goal for me this year is to make my own fabric. Not for commercial purposes, because I just plan to make it for myself and print it on spoon flower. I really want to paint something in watercolor, paint a motif and print it on fabric. So exciting. And I want to make stuff on Procreate and print that on fabric. So I am super excited about that. So yeah, I don't know if it's a surprising goal for you guys or not. For me, it's like something I've been drawn to so much for a while. Again, that's not going to be to sell you anything, like I'm not trying to push anything on you. It's going to be for me. I want to make that for myself. I'm excited to do that. I have already made a list of all the Skillshare classes I'm going to follow to be able to use Procreate properly. My channel is way too small to be sponsored by Skillshare, so not sponsored, but if there are any class that I follow that I find particularly good for design on fabric, I will let you know. Okay, I will end the video here. I hope it was okay to listen to. I want to thank Anna for tipping me a very generous coffee this month. It is immensely appreciated. If there's anything you want to see on the channel in 2025, you probably already know that my calendar is very busy and that I have lots of ideas, but I'm still happy to hear if there's anything you're thinking with everything I've mentioned, if there's anything you have in mind that I should know about. Please let me know. I'm always interested to know what you guys are interested in, because in the end I make those videos for you. And I'm also interested if the release time of the videos on Monday is good for you. So I wouldn't change the day, it would still be Monday for me. But if no one has big complaint in the comments, it's going to stay 5 p.m. Belgian time on Monday. Thank you for being around. It's such a motivation when I work and when I film to know that you guys are on the other end. And I don't do this for nothing, so thank you so much for being there. If you also have any big sewing goals for 2025, please let me know. I'm really curious to know what you are hoping to achieve this year. And if you want a little group of cheerleaders to share your project with, we have a lovely Discord community that's totally free, and I really enjoy it there. Everyone's so nice. So if you are interested in that, that's also something you can do. And otherwise, I will wish you a very, very good week. I'll see you next week, and don't forget that you can make anything. Bye!